Hello. Today I'm going to read out a top BBC news story. Lockdown Brits splurge on tea, biscuits and a good book. Brits working from home during lockdown have turned to the comforts of coffee, tea, biscuits and a good book. We've splashed out an additional £24 million on tea and coffee and an extra £19 million on biscuits in the past 3 months, says market research firm Kantar. The company also reported that grocery sales reached a record £31.6 billion in the 12 weeks to the 12th of July. We've also been reading much more, according to the publisher Bloomsbury, which has seen book sales jump. Online delivery surge. The cost of working from home is starting to add up for many, said Fraser McKevitt, head of retail and consumer insight at Kantar, talking about the extra cash we've spent on hot drinks and biscuits. The research firm said grocery sales during lockdown have climbed 16.9%, the fastest growth rate since its records began in 1994. With more people turning to online supermarkets, the home delivery grocers now account for 13% of the market, up from 7.4% in March at the start of lockdown. Although restrictions have eased, more than 1 in 5 households still make an online order during the latest 4 weeks, said Mr. McKevitt. He said that despite pubs, bars and restaurants reopening recently, more than half of consumers say they are still uncomfortable with visiting a pub. As a result, take-home alcohol sales were still up by 41% this month as people were unable or avoided drinking out, said Mr. McKevitt. Rise in reading. There has been a surge in reading during lockdown, according to the publisher Bloomsbury. Its sales have climbed almost a fifth compared to last year, when its consumer division reported a 28% rise in revenue. Our good May and June performance in particular were unexpected, said the company. Its bestsellers have included the ever-popular Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, but also books related to the Black Lives Matter campaign. Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo-Lodge has led the bestseller lists in recent weeks, while the 2016 book White Rage, The Unspoken Truth of Our Racial Divide by Carol Anderson climbed to the New York Times to 10 bestseller list. Print revenues were 9% above the same period last year, while digital revenues grew by 63% year on year, Bloomsbury said. Returning to pre-lockdown shopping. Kantar said that during the last 4 weeks, shoppers were embracing the new freedoms and cautiously returning to their pre-lockdown behaviours. It said there were signs that shoppers might be growing more confident and travelling further afield for their weekly shop. Convenience stores were a lifeline for many people in the early days of the crisis, providing essential supplies close to home, said Mr. McKevitt. Corner shops attracted 2.6 million fewer shoppers through their doors than at the peak of lockdown in April, as the average distance travelled to a grocer had climbed to 4.9 kilometres, a 10% increase from the April low. As lockdown restrictions are gradually eased and non-essential retail outlets reopen, some consumers are slowly resuming their pre-COVID routines and shopping habits, said Mr. McKevitt. Year-on-year supermarket sales growth slowed to 14.6% in July, down from 18.9% in June. However, we are clearly a long way off a complete return to normality, he said. Footfall was still 15% lower during the past 4 weeks, and the average supermarket trip cost £25.05, 35% more than the same period last year, as most people continue to eat more meals and snacks at home.